morning. Good morning. Hello to everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of I.Am.She Podcast. Thank you guys. I hope you guys had a great work week. I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday. I know it kind of got started for some, but hey, we're here. Nice for everybody to tune in. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share the show. All that good stuff. Today we're gonna have a very interesting show. We got a couple few topics, hot topics for you guys. Don't forget that you can also call in throughout the show to share some opinions about what you may think about one of our topics, or to just hop on here and say whatever to me, because I'm me. So KD's not here. She's off supporting her son in one of his track meets, which is amazing. She's a mom, so she's doing her mom thing. No disrespect. Kudos to KD for being a great mom. But what's up with y'all? Why y'all dry? Hey, Nate.
Hey.
What was that? What was that? Hey.
It says, I'm where you were probably this time in March. Like,
what?
Getting ready to move.
Yay! Did you find someone?
Yay. It's not.
Why not
these let me tell you something about these property owners and managers.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll preface this by saying I've lived in this apartment for 10 years. So what it was 10 years ago to look for an apartment where you could get a decent, privately owned apartment for $7,000 to $1,000 is now $1,800, $3,000.
Yeah.
And I was told, and I had to go off at one moment because I was thinking about having, a roommate.
Okay.
Now, mind you, let me preface this. This is almost 40-year-old Nate who has lived on his own for a very long time. I've had a couple roommates like in my 20s, like when I was college, and I tried to let. I'm not gonna say that because I don't know who's watching. I'm just gonna skip over that. So it was a possibility. I was told I would have to make 3 times the amount, and that's standard right now. 3 times the amount to qualify. They had to look at my bank account statements. They needed 6 pay stubs. They needed guarantor. Now, you would think I was 19 moving out. And I know things have changed drastically. In order for me to have the option of having somebody else join the lease, maybe, a love interest, you never know. They would have to make 5 times as much.
Wow.
And I was like, are y'all just making rules up as you go along?
Yeah, they are.
But in order for me to even see the apartment, I had to, one, pay the application fee.
And which is $50.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Most of them are $50.
Per applicant.
Per applicant.
Per applicant. And not only pay the $50 before I can even see the apartment. I needed identification to get into the building to actually see the apartment. Now, I have to preface this by saying I'm not looking at super bougie places to live, but I'm saying if I'm going to be paying $1,000 or more, I need amenities like a gym. One of the buildings that I looked at had a pool on a rooftop, a secure building. Trash removal services. Right. I don't want to have to be taking my trash to no dumpster, nothing. The farthest I want to go is a chute on my floor. Like, those are the type of places I'm looking at.
A washroom on my floor or in my apartment.
Right. And you still have to send me that information for your building because I'm still looking.
For my who?
For your building, because I'm still looking.
Yeah. My building has several vacant apartments. I was looking at the mail lady putting in all the mail yesterday. I saw a couple vacant stickers, so I know they have apartments.
Oh, I thought you were about to say they was putting up eviction notices.
No, I like my building. I like my floor. I like that there isn't a lot of riffraff on my floor. I like that there isn't. Most of the time when you come in the building, a lot of people would be like, "Do people live here?" Because I don't see nobody coming and going in your building. I see people sometimes, but I don't really see a lot of people coming in and out. There's definitely not a lot of craziness going on my floor. I live towards the end of the hall, so where my end is, there's a bunch of old ladies. Like they're older ladies, like at least 50s, 60s older ladies.
She gonna be having cookouts and teas with the old ladies.
No, not these old heifers.
I'm telling you, they're gonna invite you over. Come over and have lunch with us. Get some chicken salad.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. There is a trash.
Don't be fighting there. You know you like hanging out with the old ladies.
No, not these heifers in this building. They crazy.
Yeah, but it's definitely a different process, and I did not expect for it to be as different as it has become.
It is very stressful.
It's a lot of it. I can understand. The pandemic broke a lot of people, so they're upcharging. But they are really over, and I feel like they're trying to push a lot of people that look like us
out,
both physically and financially, out of the city. And where are we gonna go? How are we gonna maneuver that? And it just really is. People's greed is really showing right now, and it's a lot of scams. There are a lot of things. A friend of mine, he's been telling me a lot of the illegal things that happen. So if you see a post that says looking for MICA students or grad students, those are illegal posts. And I'm not saying report them, but they're not supposed to. I think it's called swaying. And they are going after specific individuals to fill their vacancies.
Wow, I didn't know.
And they're not supposed to be doing that. The security deposit and all those things is certain things that they can't ask you for, or certain ways, but people have been doing it. And because a lot of these agencies are now virtual or mostly virtual, a lot of people aren't really inspecting. And if you find something on Facebook Marketplace, chances are it's going to not be legal. I kept coming across a lot of posts, and if you've seen my Facebook page, I have a photo with me and my 4 nieces, and people kept declining me, but I would see the post still up, like it's still for rent. So I had my friend go on there and ask for this one apartment that I really like, and he welcomed him on for a tour.
Really?
So I went on a tour with him. And I said, I just, like literally 5 minutes before he did, and you declined me. And she was like, well, you have children, and I'm not interested in renting to people with children. And I said, you never even asked me, did I have children? I said, if you look through my page, you'll see a bunch of children. I'm a fucking school teacher. I said, but you never asked me, did I have children? Now understand, like I would if somebody was trying to be my roommate, I'd be like, "Hey, you got children?"
Exactly.
But you legally is not supposed to ask that question because who's to say they live with me or they even are my children, which they aren't. They're my nieces, and these are young photos of them. My oldest niece is almost 20 now. So, and on the pictures, he's probably like 9. I said that's an old photo of me and my nieces, like. So I realized probably a lot of people were declining me because they saw this man with these 4 fucking children. And 2 of them are twins. On the picture, 2 of them are like infants and they're twins. So they was probably like, oh, hell no.
They probably said, hell no, he got children.
Which they're not allowed to do.
Exactly. Discrimination.
It is discrimination, and they're not supposed to do that. But I realized why a lot of apartments was declining me because they were looking at my social media page, like, or if I'll go out to the tour, all of them were like, well, are they your children or not? They would find a way to ask me, are they my children? So I was like, I'm not taking my photo down. You need to just ask me.
You need to
You
just
know,
make sure that they're not my
do
kids.
I have children? But right, well, they my sister children. So
exactly. I think that, you know, when I went looking, a lot of these places, I was thinking about renting a room for a while because I was like, I might as well just rent a room. It's just me.
It
I
be
don't need a
feeling
whole
shady though.
But I was like,
But they want the same amount. What you were used to paying rent?
I went to this one apartment, really, literally around the corner from 1734. It was actually on St. Paul, and on the corner of St. Paul and Lafayette. It was on the corner of St. Paul and Lafayette.
A block
it was like
over.
1808 or something like that, St. Paul Street. Anywhere go. I went up there.
People addresses out there.
Because I showed it. Listen, I went up there. I'm like, okay, this is a nice place. But he wanted $800 a month for a room.
For a room.
And I was like, $800 a month?
And you paid that in rent before.
I was like, but you did get that. Don't get me wrong. The room was really nice. You had a stand-up shower, your own bathroom. Your bathroom was in your room. And the room had a nice little balcony where you could go out onto the rooftop, and it was just you. It was just yours. So I did like it. However, I was like, for all of that, and all I need is a kitchen and a living room for an extra couple of dollars, I might as well get an apartment.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to find me an apartment.
And that's kind of, I mean, I've seen them on the low end, and you like,
on the low end, you like,
you stand in a closet. It's a closet size. And I found a couple where it just, you have to be, I've had roommates before, and it's just, there's a mindfulness that happens. But the difference has always been, it was always my place. That was the difference. When you're moving into something else, I've had a roommate where I moved into their place and it was a little different. And I didn't like the perceived control that they had.
Oh no, I don't like that.
And it's just it's not a good, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but it's just not. I looked at some places where I would be staying with maybe some like John Hopkins students, like up on 33rd and St. Paul in that area, which I'm like, oh, okay. But again, Nate, you have to realize, I was like, Nate, bitch, you about to be 40.
You about to be 40.
You with the slumber parties and are you for that life? You for the late night drinking sessions? You for that life?
You upstairs in your apartment and you have them drunk bastards laying all across the lawn. I ain't got time for that.
Right. So it was a lot of pros and cons, but price has definitely been like, baby, I understand you making, this is your property and you making you want to make a profit, but baby, how many times over do you want to make
up for the pandemic? A lot of them are trying to make up for the loss that they took during the pandemic when nobody was paying rent and then nobody could get evicted. It was just like, oh my God. It was just like, what the hell? Right. You know, it was just one of them things where you just did not know what to do. You didn't know. You just, you know, a lot of these property managers, private landlords are just being outrageous. Even to move in here, I went through hell and high water to move into this place. I went through a lot of shit. And it was like, girl, do I even want to move here? It was like
the application fee the application fee, all the information they need from you, and like you different. So you have a W-2 type of foundation. For me, I'm an artist, so I have a lot of gigs where people may be paying me cash. Like you all pay me through. That's why I was like, y'all can't pay me through Cash App no more. I gotta get I have to have, because I'm realizing in the stuff that I want.
And that's how I be feeling about people who are barbers.
But I want to do to expand this. I'm not, so I have to figure out how to. The reason that now that they want to look at your bank statements and all that is because people were using fake W-2s or fake information. Fake pay stubs and stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's
the problem.
And that's what I be saying. People like, I'm selling CPNs. How the hell do that work? How the hell do I go apply for an apartment and be like, here go my CPN? If somebody if I was a property manager nowadays and somebody came in and talking about here go my CPN, baby, I'd be like, you denied automatically, sweetie. I'm sorry. You denied.
Well, I'm gonna say, like, for me, those types of services is needed because not the fake side of it, but because all my stuff is gig work. So if I give you all my information, it may look like I don't make enough to be able to live here.
Exactly.
But if you see all my work, and because the biggest problem, if I was still subbing like the last couple months, it would have been fine because I would have been able to turn that over, and that's a nice piece of change every 2 weeks. But because I didn't do that, and everything else is like $400 for this gig this day, or 300 for this, or 170, like I have to put it all together. So I see why people use those services illegally, because you know you can afford, you go hustle to get the rent money, but it's just proven, and it's like so much you have to prove. Like, this shit
so
is
much.
just,
you got to give me your blood type, your firstborn child, or your
right.
firstborn granddaughter. You have to give these people a lot of stuff just to be able to say, I live here. And
Just to be able to say I live.
I don't like
And not even, but hey, not even to say I live here, for them to probably
to say I want to consider me to live here. Exactly.
To even consider, for me to be approved to be able to live here. Not even I actually got the keys.
Not even I got the keys yet.
Yeah.
It's I want to live here. I want to live here.
And then they don't have the same urgency. I found it's a nice building. You would have liked this building too, but this building is down on Utah Street, and it's basically for artists.
You did tell me about
they have like a recording studio in there, so I will be able to do my shows and stuff. But baby, how many of my first children do you need? Like, you want my first children? I gotta shake a leg. Then I had to sit in front of a panel of residents there, because it's an artist-driven building. So if you coming in as an artist, you get they have certain tiers of payment. So as an artist, I'll be charged a certain thing to come to live there. So they have to see like what type of artist I am and what I do. Not to say they only letting certain types of artists, but they want to build it. But they still have the same property management stuff as well. So you got to go through all the artist stuff. Then you still have to go through all the paperwork and
where they say Utah?
And Utah, right across the street from where the tunnel was, is a new
right
apartment
there
complex
Utah
right there.
Mulberry.
I think it's 410 Lofts.
Yeah, Utah.
Yeah, the 410 Lofts.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
And they, I mean, you don't typically find apartments with multiple bedrooms. So they have, I think they have lofts all the way up to 3 bedrooms.
Wow.
They had like a 3-bedroom for like 11 something.
I don't need all that space. Right. You get an extra room, people gonna feel like they can come stay with you, and I don't got no time for that.
Well, it's not a lot of space because 2 of the bedrooms are small and 1 is a regular sized bedroom.
People don't give a damn nowadays. As long as they got somewhere to lay their head, honey, they don't care. People don't care.
But that's where I'm at right now. Like, girl, just give me a bed. Like,
just give me a room. I can throw my cot in it and lay down.
But even in me coming here, it wasn't right. Even in me coming here, I was just moving to Charles Village, and it was just I saw for rent. I sent my information in, paid my deposit, got my keys.
That's good.
It was like 2 weeks.
So have you found a place, or are you still looking?
I found a couple different types of places. Like I said, I found the one roommate situation with the college student. And it's just one college student because I didn't want to live in a commune with a bunch of people. And I have 3 different apartments that I'm looking at. The one on Utah Street, and there's one on Park Avenue, across from the Mount Vernon Marketplace. That's the one that got the pool. Right, got the pool on the roof and stuff. So I was thinking about
pool parties. You talking about that one right there? Right. I think it's like 510 Park Avenue, something like that.
611. Yeah, 611. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
So, and then there's one up here on St. Paul Street where I'll be taking over the lease from somebody. Like, there's a lot of places like that where you're taking over somebody's lease. So apartment buildings are now allowing people to do that. So instead of you break your lease or having to pay, you can find somebody to replace you. But that's still a crazy process because you're taking over somebody's lease, but you still gotta do all the paperwork like you're just moving in
Mhm.
on your own, like a fresh apartment.
Good
But
morning, KD. Oh,
yeah, but
okay. Hey,
it's a weird,
Dion.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Damn.
yeah, it's
It's a
different,
process. Listen,
and
I had
but
went
it's the
to
worst possible time because that means
oh,
I'm gonna be cash broke on my birthday.
cash broke. That's how I be. That's how I be. I had went to this one apartment builder on Lombard and Packer, literally on the corner of Lombard and Packer. And
Ooh,
when
I
I
know that
see
building.
that building is a lovely building, great courtyard.
Yeah,
You have access to the other buildings around who are
yeah.
a part of that property. However, when
Hmm.
I went into the actual apartment, love the walls. The walls was exposed brick. I have a thing for exposed
Oh,
brick.
I love you. You already,
Nice,
you've seen my. That's the only
nice
reason I picked
big
this apartment.
exposed brick. A nice big windows letting a bunch of sunlight. The fucking kitchen and the bathroom was something straight out of 1972. The
Oh,
appliances was
you.
something straight out of 1972. The dishwasher was
Mhm.
old. The damn the sink was old. The bathroom was
But I
even
bet you that
older.
rent was. I bet you that
But
rent was
the rent
modern. I
for a
bet you
one
that rent was
bedroom apartment,
modern.
this was a one bedroom apartment. It was 1165. And that was the
Yeah,
special that she was running. The
and
special.
that's on the low end.
And that's on the low end.
Yeah.
And that's on the low end. Nice apartment building, very beautiful, nice courtyard. And like I
Yeah.
said, you had access to the other buildings where they had a rooftop and you could use the rooftop for whatever events you wanted to. The courtyard you can use it for whatever events you wanted to. It was just the apartment itself, the appliances, the fucking everything was 1972. 1972.
Yeah, that sounds like the apartment I'm living in now.
Mm-hmm. The appliances were old as hell. The appliances was like the first damn appliances that came out.
Hmm.
Something straight out of
Yeah.
that 70s show.
Straight out. But that rent was modern. That
But
I
the
bet
rent
you
was
that rent was
modern.
modern.
And then you had a shared laundry where you had to pay for that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Oh,
But it was on the floor.
when we get off,
Laundry room
I'm
on
gonna tell
every
you how
floor.
to get around that one because
Yeah, laundry room on every floor.
somebody just told me how to
I
get
love my
around that.
apartment because I have a small washer and dryer, but it's enough for me because it's just me. Nice size stackable washer and dryer. I got a trash chute on my floor. I like it. And it's an elevator because I can't move nowhere where I got to walk up some steps.
Oh,
Yeah, nice elevator.
spoken like a person living on the first floor. I'm on the third floor.
Oh God. Oh my God.
I'm on
With
the third floor,
steps.
and that was one of the things. Yes,
Can't do it no more.
that's been one of my pet peeves.
And central
But yeah,
air.
so
Ooh.
that's my struggle. On top of trying to be artists and create, and I'm still thinking about stuff, and I'm having to downsize today. I got this. I have some. So we might be ending a little early today. To the I.Am.She family.
I know you got
Is
things to
the
do.
Black
Places
to
to
the
go.
Future, the monthly event that I do
Yeah.
with the Black to the Future. But y'all need to come out to this because today you got to get there early. The first 7 people to get there will be entered into a drawing to get a $500 um, grant. Free grant. You don't have to pay it back, but you'll get up to $500. Well, $500 is 2 $500 grants, and that's a part of their monthly initiative. If you go to their website, Black to the, let's say Black to but the Baltimore Black
So wait a
Arts
minute. When you say
District
get there early,
website,
you had to get
and you
there
can
like
find them on YouTube.
6:30.
7. I would say get there at 6:30,
Oh God.
but
I'm gonna get there at 6:30 because I need that $500
7
grant to go towards my
o'clock,
retreat.
definitely get there.
I need that $500 to go towards my retreat.
But yeah,
Okay, I need that $500.
yes,
I need some more
yes,
grants
yes,
after that.
yes.
KD said, can she do it
But
virtually?
come on down. The first 7 people.
And if my name don't get
No,
put,
not
I'm
this one. But you could. But I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you how to go around it. I'm gonna tell you that afterwards. But there's still a monthly grant that you can get. Is 9 people will get up to $1,000 every month. It's part of the Project Restart. That's part of the program that helps me to be able to do Black to the Future. So definitely hit me up, and I can give you the information. But I'll
who
tell you
me?
how to do it, KD.
Who me?
Yeah, but
Hit you up.
you're able to come in person, so
Yeah.
you will get the information today on how to do it. But every month, January to December, you can apply for a grant. Right now, it's only a few months left. I believe July, August, September, and December are still available if you have an
Oh,
event
okay.
coming up. So
Okay. I
so
would
it's
love to
it's
do
really
that.
good. We typically do it the fourth Saturday of every month. I think
Mm-hmm.
June is gonna be the only month where it changes. But we do it the first month. It's a partnership between myself, Shinya Wright, and the Black Arts District, and we do this every month. The ladies, they came to the very first one that we did, um, and we supply resources, and the workshop portion of it is kind of us helping you with certain techniques. Today's workshop will be with me. I'm sitting here trying to finish the slideshow right now while I'm talking to you all, but I'll be doing a workshop on media training and partnerships.
Nice, nice. And you said it's not
Yeah.
virtual, though. You said it's not virtual, though.
Well, it will be so it will be. She'll be able to watch it virtually. She just won't
Mhm.
be able to do the grants virtually
Oh,
yet.
okay. Okay,
So
because I know a
you
few
will be
people
able to see it.
who could benefit from that, though. I know a few people who could benefit from
Yeah. So I'll be going live from the event. So I did do it last night because I forgot my tripod. But today we'll be doing some live interviews live on air. So
that.
come
I'm
on,
gonna put
join us,
this
and
in my
I'll send you the link, KD and Dion. I'll send y'all the link to be able to join, watch it virtually.
I'm gonna have to put this in my
Okay,
calendar.
KD, I see you sharing.
Okay, you better share, girl.
Yes.
I'm about to put this
So
on my
I would say
calendar.
at least come 10 minutes before, because I think a lot of people are coming because we're giving away money. So people gonna
Cause
be
I'm
on
gonna get
time
there
this
at
time.
6:30. I'm gonna get there at 6:15. I'm gonna set my clock for 6:15, and I'm gonna get there at 6:30.
Well,
Now what?
okay, that's good because
But what if
I don't want
y'all
you to
don't
beat
pull
me
my
there.
name? I'm gonna say it's rigged. If y'all don't pull my name, I'm gonna have a problem.
Right.
Cause now it's rigged. Now it's rigged. Now something going
Well,
on.
it's not about calling your name. So you're physically signing up for the. So you're going through the same process as anybody else who would have to regularly sign up for it, but we're only taking the first 7 people. So and then we're gonna choose from those 7 people.
Right. But if y'all don't pull my
But
name,
have in mind something you want.
have in mind something you what?
So that's the only thing. Have in
Have in mind
mind
something
of
you what?
a project or event that you want to do.
My
Say it
my
again.
retreat. My retreat.
Yeah, but think about what's the purpose of the retreat? What would you do? Who is the target audience?
I
Is
already
it
got
open to the
I already got
public?
that wrote up. Thanks to my good friend Dion.
See?
Thanks to my good friend Dion. We
See?
already got that on. We already got that on board, baby. You ain't even got to worry about all that. We already got it. I can show y'all the PowerPoint if y'all want a presentation. I can give you a presentation right now.
See, that's how you got to come ready. So it's similar to like a pitch competition. So that's
Oh,
basically what
okay.
it is.
Oh, okay. Listen. I can make copies if you want me to. I can go make some copies and
But that's for in your business center of your new apartment building. Okay, I see.
Period.
I see.
Period.
Amenity. It's called amenities.
I got my own
But
printer.
like I said, today's gonna be a shorter show because Mr. Couser had some. I gotta go make some coins so I can
When I
get that
called you
first
Mr.
month in
Couser, you ain't
deposit.
let me call you Mr. House.
Let me put up that cash app because we need some cash apps
Period.
so we can make some moves.
No, not Cash App, your Zelle.
I hopefully my friends hopefully my friends think about me this year and do something nice for me. You
Cool.
know, I am turning 40 and all. I'm not drinking. I'm
Oh
not
God,
drinking. I'm gonna just say that.
not drinking.
I won't be drinking this year.
I mean, you could, just not excessively. Not
I
saying that you
got
would.
so pictures came up on my. I must have put pictures out there and everything.
You had a ball. I
So
really like the fact that you let your hair down and you enjoyed yourself, and it was just Nate in rare form. I like that. I really did. I like that a lot. You let your hair down.
Y'all just was looking to blackmail me.
No, we were
Y'all
not.
was looking to blackmail me.
We were looking to get you drunk so you can have some fun and let loose.
I see the difference is so things that you all consider times that y'all let y'all hair down and have fun. I'm typically working during those times. Like it so like I used when I was going up to the 5 Mile House, I was selling my jewelry at that time. So that was something fun for you, but I was working.
It was definitely fun for me.
Right, yes. I saw how fun it was. When I first met
I'm
BlackRoses,
trying,
she was
listen, after having that conversation with you, girl, I'm trying.
I was afraid to let her drive home that night.
Me?
I was really afraid to let. I was like, Tamika, is she cool to drive tonight?
Like, girl, honey, she do this all the time.
Oh, girl, she's like, boy, she is fine. That she's lightweight tonight. This is lightweight for her.
This is regular. She's fine. You should see her when she drunk.
So you could never say nothing about me because when I first met you, you was off the sauce,
off the chain,
off the crabs and the sauce. The crabs and the sauce.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Dion,
that was rare.
Girl. After having that conversation with you on Monday, honey, I've been on my A1. I ain't lying to you. I've been calling and trying to find people who I reached out to last year. I've been doing my thing this week, honey. I sure have. I've even solicited some help from some other people to help me, honey. Yep. I'm trying my best. I'm going tonight. I had to set a reminder in my phone to remind myself because I keep forgetting, but I keep remembering. So I'm gonna be in the building tonight. You best believe it.
Yeah. Well, just think 500. Put $500 on it.
Speak $500.
$500.
Right, somebody take the time out to pray for my $500 blessing to go towards my retreat. Yes, take your time out and pray for that blessing, please. Let's just get into a couple of
Catch an Uber and just pray.
Okay, in my Uber, I'm praying. In the Uber, I'm just praying. You don't know. But let's get into some of these topics. What?
So our first one is these are so sad. It was so much sad stuff going on last week. I couldn't do it.
All right, so much sad.
So I'm gonna start with do you want to start with the gun or the image? Ariana Grande or the gun control?
Gun control. It ain't no video.
These buttons is like, I'm gonna go when I feel like it. No, this is just a picture. So you can start talking about the story because this is a picture.
I don't know who that is. Oh, is that the white boy who shot the is that the white boy who who shot up the damn, I can't, my mind going to blank. My mind is drawing a blank. I'm sorry. I can't remember what is it. That's not the one who shot up the school.
Well, just and so as we talk about these stories, a number of just in the past week, we've had 3 different incidents of shootings. And I don't know how to address it because it seems like the more we talk about it, the less that gets done about it. But
the more it gets worse.
It is. The more it gets worse. Did you say something in there?
Can you hear me at
all? The worse it gets. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, my computer must be slow.
No, you had sent me a message, so I was looking at the message first, but is a lag on it?
Is the lagging?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like
Yeah, I
you
can
said,
hear you though. I can hear you. Go ahead.
the different types of gun violence that we're just experiencing this week, even with the little boy in Kansas City who got shot by the fucking old ass white man that's like 84 years old who shot him. And then you got the two cheerleaders who got into the wrong vehicle by mistake, and one of them got killed. And then you have I think another little white girl made a mistake and pulled into somebody's yard too, and the white man shot her. It's just so many different.
She pulled into the wrong driveway.
It's just so many different stories that you just keep hearing about gun violence, and not even across the world, but even right here in Baltimore, you have so many different types of gun violence that is going on right here within our own communities. You have the little boy who just got killed, the little 12-year-old. You even have a 16-year-old who just got killed a couple of days ago in Cherry Hill as well. It's just so much going on.
And down the street from me, it was 3 officers that were shot.
Really?
It was 3 officers that were shot down the street from me in the last week.
Really?
Right off of Merlin Avenue.
Yeah. Wow.
And the crazy thing is, like, the way my apartment is situated, if I'm not in my front room or my kitchen, so my kitchen's in the back, all the way in the back, and my front room, my living room is in the front. And so I live in a real narrow type apartment. And when I'm in my bedroom or in the bathroom, I don't hear anything. A friend came here and he was like, "You ain't just hear all them helicopters and whatnot?" It was like 3 police officers got shot. And
my goodness. It's we're living
and it was just him trying to get around all of those. Yeah. But it's scary. I feel
it is. It's definitely scary.
Living in
that we're living in
because you don't know.
You don't know.
No. And it doesn't.
Yeah, my computer must be lagging. My computer lagging. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's his internet that keep going in and out. But like he was saying, you just don't know. We are living in a time where you could just be literally walking down the street and get caught in some type of crossfire. You could be literally minding your business and somebody just decide they want to shoot at the person that's down the street or around the corner from you. Even with the little 12-year-old boy, just listening to the stories, like from even the mother herself, who said she has dealt with this little boy, his mother and his family, letting them know, like, hey, your son is a part of the bullying process that's going on with my child. Even listening to the grandmother talk, who even said that he had problems. He was dealing with not having, I guess, a mother in the home or whatever the case may be with his mom when she was working. Whatever. He was dealing with a bunch of different types of entities that was just pulling him in different directions. And unfortunately, for his little 12-year-old body, it just wasn't enough. And it's like he had to do what he had to do, listening to some of the stories and listening to some of the people who have dealt with him in the past, who have had instances with him, who has had a run-in with him before. Just listening to them tell their story about, like, this little boy was out here living that kind of life at 12 years old. And it's like, dang. And a part of me, as a mother, I want to hear from his mother, because we've heard from the grandmother. We've even heard from a mother of a child who he was bullying. We've heard from everybody except for his mother. And I want to send my heartfelt condolences to her, but I also want to know, what was the problem? Was it that you couldn't control them? What is it? And I know a lot of times when our kids are running rampant in the street, a lot of women feel like it ain't nothing I can do with him. He is out of here, out of control. He doing what he want to do. And it's like, we want to blame the parents and we want to say it's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault. But it's like, you don't know what that parent could be dealing with herself. She might have other children and he just want to be rebellious because he might be the oldest or he might be the middle child, whoever, he might be whatever. But it's like, it doesn't call for the murder of a child. That is a child. And I get it. A lot of people like, but he was out here running wild, little shorty was this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, whip his little ass. He's a kid. Looking at them pictures and the photos that he was posting of himself on Instagram and that people were posting of him. You could have whipped his little ass and he'd have been fine. But then again, you have kids like him who are 12 years old, growing up in the street with guns, carrying guns, having to look for that lifestyle and essentially to get them where they need to go. And I feel so much heart. I feel bad for his mother, but like I said, in the same token, I want to know what was the problem. Listening to the grandmother, the grandmother was up there like, he was this and he was that, but it was like, I really want to know the mom's point of view. How is she handling it? How was she handling it? What was the issues that he faced in the home that he felt like he needed to go outside to get the love that he needed from the people on the street? You just never know a child's situation, and
I think a lot of that is where we need to start from. We got to start from that place. What is the issue, or what is the problem? We keep seeing the results of an issue. What was happening before? And we can't keep trying to wait until these children turn 18 and be like, hey, they got to deal with this on their own. We can't keep doing that anymore, or aging them out of the system and just waiting for them to get to a point. But you have to. This requires a psychiatrist. Because there's either something he saw or something he's been introduced to over time. This just didn't happen
exactly
now that we're looking at him. Because I believe he's not even 18 yet, if I'm not mistaken.
Which
I
one?
don't think he's 18 yet.
Which one?
The young man that we're talking about, the shooter.
No.
So a lot of these issues are problems that are not just starting now. These types of issues with children getting into the wrong element. This was something that should have been monitored years ago. And like you said, you haven't heard from the mother, which means he probably was being raised by the grandmother. And you never know what is happening, and it's not as cookie cutter. I don't like commenting negatively on these types of stories, even when it's adult, because you don't know.
And act like they are such perfect parents who wants to talk about how somebody else is raising their kid. Like, you don't know what this mother may have been dealing with or battling raising this little boy. He was, like the grandmother got on TV and said, this little boy was terrorizing the community. He was selling guns, carjacking. He was carjacking people. He was doing things. And it's like, we're looking at it like, oh, it's the mama fault. The mama should have da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, shit, we as women, we can only do but so much, especially when y'all got other kids. Especially when they have other children and they have to look at them. Y'all be expecting these mothers to have a tight leash on every last one of their kids, and that's not even possible. That's not even possible. I don't know. Oh, yeah. But that's not even possible. And I feel, like I said, I feel bad for his mother. I feel bad even for the little boy who had to pull her son out of Baltimore City and move him to Hagerstown because he went to school with a gun in his backpack because he was tired of the children bullying him. He was tired of getting beat up after school. He would have killed a bunch of innocent people because he was sick and tired of the school not doing anything, the teachers not doing anything. Nobody was coming to his defense but his mother. He was exhausted.
And like I said before, there's a number of reasons, and we can't. And I'm not saying that that's what you were saying, but I've heard this argument several times, and it always falls back on the school system, and it, or simply just the parent or whoever's raised. Like, it's so many entities that's wrong, because when you talk about the school system, people don't want to do paperwork, or people don't want, or people can't talk to the parent, because if we haven't heard anything from the mother or a statement or something, that means it could mean that she's not actively involved, which means, often the grandparent or auntie is unofficially the guardian. So the school don't know that. They just can't get in touch with the parent, or, the grandmother may be, we've heard these issues. The grandmother may be too old and just can't deal with it, or tired of dealing with it. And it's just so many factors that go into how this happens. And even on the school side, again, like, you exhaust all your efforts, and outside of just simply putting the child out of the school, where's going to go?
Where he gonna
will
go?
that make the problem worse?
Where he
And
gonna go?
at home, right, at home he could be one of how many other siblings?
That's what I
Or
was saying. He could
again,
be
a
one
parent
of
is
many.
tired.
He
Right.
could be one
People
of
get tired
many
of
in the
having to
household.
deal with that.
Yeah,
I've
and it's
heard
huh.
I've heard so many parents say, I remember right before the pandemic happened. I had a young man who was that's I think that was first grade he was in, and I was so afraid once the lockdown happened because I said that little boy gonna get hurt
Oh my
because
God.
that mother gonna be in that house with him on a daily basis. And I remember like a week before the pandemic, it was like she got tired of coming into my class from after school to get him because they were like, "Don't please don't call me no more because I'm done." And when a parent who is the primary caregiver says, "I'm done," that means, oh,
You
that
out of
child was
luck.
out there in
That
the
means you
world.
out of luck. That
You
child is
straight
out
out
here
of
in
luck.
this world doing God
And
knows what.
it's a right. And I remember going home and saying, and a lot child abuse rose over the pandemic, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of school systems they continued their care work, meaning they had administrators going out to the homes directly or making phone calls just to check up on certain students that were already an issue. So we can imagine them being home all day, getting beatings and just not getting the proper care. And it really is a problem that we're having, and nobody is saying anything, nobody is doing anything, nobody is handling it. And now when the child or the adult rather gets to the point where they're now shooting up stuff, what could have been done? And I know we can't harp on the past, but we have to start examining what could have been done so no more children are going through this or having to now be tried as an adult or continue to fill up the justice system with these types of cases because nobody's doing anything. The more we talk about gun control, the more nothing is done.
The more nothing is done. The more that the people feel like we need to just keep arming ourselves. If we just keep arming
Right.
ourselves,
So
everything
now
will be okay.
we all got guns, we're
Now we
all
all
on
got guns,
edge,
we all got
we're
mental
all
issues
trigger
over the
happy.
time. You know,
Right.
we all got guns and we all out here, but just mentally fucked up with a gun and just gonna be
Mm.
like, well, you know what? I'm gonna just take my gun and go kill everybody. That's
Yep.
the good thing to do. That's what I should do. Like it makes no sense to me. And then when I say I'm an advocate for gun control in this country, it's really because we need to put some type of laws into place where people with mental, not even people with mental health issues, because you got people who ain't even mentally messed up that's killing people. Like I said,
Yep.
it's more than just around the world. It's happening right here in our city. Right here in
Yep.
Baltimore City, you have young men being murdered by the masses. Young black
Oh,
men
man.
being murdered by the masses. Some of them being slaughtered at teenage years. Not even being
Yep.
able to grow up seeing to see their future. You got kids barely making it to 20, 21. You got kids barely even making it to 25.
But
You know?
but we can keep saying that, but nobody wants to do anything.
Nobody
Nobody
wants
wants to
to
do anything
nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to help. Nobody wants to do anything but to the murder or the drama land on their front step. Nobody wants to do
until it
anything
lands.
until it hits
Yeah.
their front door. We can keep like the
Yeah.
same thing how I feel about the world. We can keep offering our condolences and sending out prayers and praying and oh my God, and where Brandon Scott and where Westmore and where all of these people at. Where are the people in the community that are allowing this shit to happen?
And I say the same thing. Stop calling on our mayor. Stop
Stop.
calling on our governor. And I'm
Stop.
speaking about here in Baltimore, but this is happening everywhere.
Mhm.
Leadership. The mayor cannot hold your hand as an individual
Mhm.
resident.
Mhm.
The governor cannot hold your hand as an individual resident. They control
Mhm.
policies and procedures and processes, but it's you.
It's you.
It's
It's
you, and
you.
speaking specifically for the communities, the families where you know your child out there doing dirt,
You
where
know
you know
because
your
of that
child is
mission.
involved in drugs and violence and gang violence, and you just don't do anything. And
Somebody
the
made a
question is,
point.
what do I do? I've
One
heard
of the things,
once a child's been shot and killed. The thing is, well, what was I supposed to do?
what was I
I
supposed to
get
do?
that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But be proactive when
Be
they're in
proactive in
first
the
grade,
community.
pre-K.
And that's what I was saying. I was making a point with somebody the other day. They were talking about the guy Uncle T who opened up a new, I guess, rec center or something on down the hill on Monument Street.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I get it. I get that he's doing great things.
Yeah.
He was like, but however, he know the person that's recruiting these kids. He knows the person. He know Young Moose is down the hill recruiting all these little kids to be killers or drug dealers. He not stepping to him, telling him, no, man.
Is Young Moose the rapper?
Young Moose the rapper.
Is that the rapper?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
just
he's
like
still out here doing dirt?
Still, he just got arrested for drugs and guns. He just got arrested the other day for guns and drugs. Just literally got arrested. Let me see.
And see, that's something to be said about that, because those types of young people, they feel like that's all they have to offer.
That's all they have to look forward to. That's all they have to
really feel like that's all they have to offer.
I was trying to find the article
That's
where
crazy.
it showed Young Moose got arrested not too long ago for drugs and guns. Drugs and guns. And you have kids out here who's looking up to him.
He has started. That's the one that they let out of jail, and was that him?
Yeah.
Where they was
the
like,
who was a part of the gun, who the people of the gun task force were using to do. Yeah, him. It was him.
Wow.
Yep. It was him.
See, it's no accountability left.
No accountability. Like
there's no accountability.
You got Stokey, who was running for mayor, and your son is one of the biggest drug dealers over West Baltimore. Like, make that shit make sense.
Was that the young man who was that? Because that's an older guy, right?
Stokey is an older guy, but his son is YBS Scholar.
Okay, so he's not affiliated with the Stop Shooting zones, is he?
I don't think so.
Because I remember them talking about a man who was like a lot of these organizations are being run by people out here. I worked for a guy. Never forget this. When he gave me my first pay.
Mm-hmm. Your first who?
Girl. My first payment.
Oh.
He told me, he said, meet me at Lexington Market. I thought we was going to lunch or something. When I say he had my money, he had cash in his hand. He wrapped the money up and he gave it to me. And I'm in my mind, I said, nigga, do you know we're in the front of fucking Lexington Market? I said, why would you pass me money like that?
He wrapped it up like he was a dope deal.
I said, why would you But see, this is the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're learning how to do legitimate things with their money, like open restaurants and like Stokely trying to run for mayor. Like, you're doing things to legitimize yourself.
He opened up a sports bar in Towson in honor of his father. He just opened up a sports bar in Towson. Let me run and get some water, but I'm listening.
To do what? What are you doing
this
for?
Sports bar. I don't know if it's to show a front or what, but he's running us
clean up some money. To clean up some money.
Yeah.
To clean up some money.
Clean up for his son or for himself.
Yep.
You know, and it's like we're living in this time now where kids are looking up to this kind of foolishness because that's all the positive influence that they have.
Yeah.
They don't have anything else.
It just makes me angry because we allow that type of energy to continue to infiltrate. Like I was saying, that guy that I work with, I'm sitting there, and when he passed me the money, you want fine.
Right.
One, I'm not working with you because we was working with children. I said, I'm not doing it. I never even went back after that. I said, because people are, this area is on daily global 24-hour surveillance.
Exactly.
I said, and I stick out like a sore thumb no matter where I go.
No
And
matter
you
where you
pass me
go.
money like that,
No
I
matter
still
where
have
you
yet
go.
to get over that. And
He thought, what? He probably like, what? What's wrong? He probably think
right.
nothing's wrong.
My friend who connected me to him, she was like, maybe you just overreacting. No, I'm not from that
No.
lifestyle. You're not
No.
gonna pass me no payment like we're doing a drug transaction.
And you
And
not
when I
going
say after I said that, he just walked off.
and you're not gonna gaslight me into
Like he
thinking
was
I'm wrong
ready
for
to just
looking at
walk
it.
off. Right,
Now
like if I had not said nothing, he would have just walked off. But he was
he
ready
would
to
have just
just
walked off.
walk off. Like this how you handle and conduct business? Now
Mm-hmm.
this was
He would
like
have just
really
walked off.
before the Cash App and digital payment, but it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, like you represent a whole nonprofit that you own.
Not
And
her
we're so
gaslighting
used
you
to
more.
doing stuff illegally. And I know this is like, how far is this away from gun control? But it's just the mindset that people
It's the
have and
mindset that
dealing
people
with.
have.
Yeah, like it all goes together. And it's not harping on us, but we have to be that change. We have to say no. I can't
We
deal with
have
this.
to
And
take a
not just
stand against
move out
something
the
like,
neighborhood.
golly.
Right.
And a lot of people might be like, it was just a pavement. Like, no, it's deeper than that. You don't know
But
what that
you
money
know how
could have
you
came
know how
from.
you know how you pass a payment. You've seen somebody pass a payment like that.
You don't know where that money could have came from. Where that money could have been.
The
You
fact that
don't know.
but it was his idea. He didn't say, "Hey, let's meet up in the upstairs in the Lexington Market. Let's get some lunch or something." It was none of that. Or meet me at my car, or I'll meet you at your car. It was nothing like that. It was
Straight
meet
gave
me
you
in
some
front of
drug
Lexington
money.
Market.
He gave you some drug money, probably.
I was so heated after that. I was hot.
They was like, I feel disrespected.
Had I not already did the work, right? Had I
Mm-hmm.
not already did the work, I would have threw that fucking money in his face and walked off. But it was
It's
rent
just the
time again, so I took the
mindset.
money. But
The mindset of
yeah,
certain people. Like, you just got to be careful about who you being around. Like, especially with our kids, we have to. I said this city needs more rec centers. It needs some type of something for these kids because the summertime is coming, and y'all trying to lock them in the house at 10 o'clock ain't gonna make a difference. Because when y'all trying to lock them in the house, the mama trying to leave out. The mama want to go to. The mama want to go to brunch. The mama want to go have fun. Y'all trying to lock these kids in the house at 10 o'clock at night, and the mother like, no, the hell you ain't. You ain't finna sit in here. Like, but
see,
again,
the centers are there. It's just simply they're not being utilized the way we used rec centers when we were younger. But they're not. They're
you think so?
there. I've worked in several summer programs at rec centers. The rec centers are there, and some of them are even being rehabbed, thanks to our city government, and outside programs, of course. But they're there. It's not an issue of them not being there. I just had an argument with a gentleman last week about shutting. He tired of these rec centers because we need more than just athletes. But you're not utilizing it as an adult. You're not utilizing it. It's available. They have daytime availability at these rec centers for adult programs, or senior program. They're there. We're just not utilizing them.
I kind of want to go on. I mean, I don't want to say I agree with him about that. However, I haven't seen any rec centers where those kids can actually go to and enjoy themselves and be like, this is a safe haven for me. Maybe they are
but
out there.
I'm telling you that I'm telling you that they are there, and there are students that do participate in like in Walbrook Junction, Cahill Recreation Center. I don't know if you know where that is, Cahill Recreation Center. They just totally redid and remodeled that, and it's focused on theater. And they're not limiting access. It's just they can't afford to open up the doors as much as they used to because the children aren't coming. The city is paying for them to stay open. They are there. They don't stay open as late, I think, in certain neighborhoods, but they are there. There is,
I
and
never
it's
knew
not as
that.
many of them. Many of the rec centers have been closed down. I grew up on the one on Pennsylvania Avenue, Robert C. Marshall. That's still open. You
Wow,
know,
I never knew
they're
that.
still active, especially during the pandemic. If not all of the rec centers that are open, were
You just
still
taught me
open and
something new.
still
I
doing
never knew that.
programming. I remember the rec center, one of the rec centers I worked for during the pandemic. It was during the summertime. One I worked for was overcrowded because of the neighborhood. There was a lot of children there. The other
Mm-hmm.
one I worked at, which literally was behind the house that Mayor Brandon Scott's house. It was that whole summer. It was like a 7-week program. I taught 4 children.
Wow.
There were multiple days where I would be sitting there with the other faculty and nobody comes through the door. So it's up to parents to take their children, and don't that whole requirement. Like, no, you're gonna be here. Your
Yeah.
tax dollars are paying for that, but they're
I
there.
had no idea that there were rec centers open around the city. I always just assumed that they were shutting down. Nobody was, funding them or anything. And it's like you said, the parents have to want to take the kids. Instead of y'all want to go to brunch, while you at brunch, take that little boy to the damn rec center. Take that little girl to the rec center.
Yeah.
Let them have some fun. But as a whole,
But
we
but
just
but it can't just be a babysitting situation either.
won't be a
You know,
babysitter.
you have to at least be involved in the programming there yourself as a parent. And I know that's not always possible, but you have to be involved. Don't just expect your child to go there, because what's gonna happen is your child will be like, I don't gotta be here no more. And it's a rec center, so it's not like
My
a
mother
school
don't care about
environment
what
where we
I'm doing
can make the
anyway.
child stay there. Say it again.
They're gonna be like, my mother don't care about what I'm doing anyway.
Right, and they can walk out.
Uh-huh. And they could walk out. And they could
If
walk
it's
right
not like
out.
an after school program that the parent has signed them up for, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just there playing basketball, they can leave out. So that means they can be, a part of that neighborhood again. But
It's
it
just a
just, I
sad.
mean,
Oh, wait a minute. Hold
yeah,
on. I done dropped something. Wait a minute. It's just a sad, sad time that we are living in when it comes to parents not wanting to be parents. I just think that I'm running into a lot of women who are refusing to be mothers. Then on top of that, you got the men who are refusing to be fathers. And you're leaving the
hmm
kids who are out here motherless, fatherless, no guidance, nobody to turn to. Y'all looking for grandma in the streets. It's just not making sense. You got
not
grandmothers who 30 something years old, like grandmas who in their 40s, and they grandma like, no, I'm trying to live my life.
right,
Grandma trying to live her
yeah,
life too.
right.
She's 46. She want to do her thing.
46, like
46.
35.
Yeah. No shade to my cousin. My cousin, I'm 37. She's 38. She's a grandmother. She's
Mm.
a grandmother.
And that's the crazy thing is, I think because we didn't live in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Look how old your grandmother was, or your great grandmother was, or your mother
Mm-hmm.
was. This
Mm-hmm.
is not a new thing. It's not.
Mm-hmm. But the point I'm
It's
trying to make
socially
is,
unacceptable in today's world because we have these new morality standards. Not to say that those standards are wrong, but we just in a new and different space with them.
but
But
the
we
point
have
that
to
I'm trying
figure
to
out
make is
how
that
to
we
go ahead.
have these. The point I'm trying to make is that we have these kids who are being left to be raised by young grandmothers who are also trying to live their life now that their children are grown. And now their children are having children, and their children are like, well, I want to be grown too. So here, watch my baby or keep my baby. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a never-ending cycle. And unfortunately, a lot of kids are falling victim to it. Like the little boy Jalen who just got killed. I'm sure his mother like around my age.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
of it. The grandmother looked like she wasn't no older than about 55, 56. The grandmother didn't look no older than she didn't look no older than in her 50s. She might be because it looked like she was definitely might have been on some drugs or something. But that little boy mother is probably like my age. I guarantee you.
See,
She's
and
probably like my
we're
age.
not talk we don't talk about stuff.
We don't talk about stuff like that. Or she could be younger than me with a 12-year-old. She could be younger than me with a 12-year-old. You know, she could be 30.
Possible.
She could be 30. She could be 30 years old and have a 12-year-old. It's no nice. Huh? Your phone keep. I don't know if it's your computer. What you say? Like, you know, I just think about what the kids have to go through. We are in a time now where nobody gives a damn if it's not their child. Nobody gives a damn if that child is not directly in their family. Like I said, it's not until it hit our front step that we got a problem. It's not until shit happened on our front door that now it's a problem. We have to start looking at the bigger picture because these kids are dying by the masses. This ain't no fly by night, you know, occasional shit. Like when we was in the 90s, you heard Lil Ray Ray got shot or something and died. These kids are being killed daily. Like I said, a little 16-year-old boy just got killed out Cherry Hill the other day. And this is not something that, you know, this shit that people are seeing. Things that are really happening in our neighborhood. You not only on top of that, you got the niggas being killed left and right too. 16-year-old shot in the head in Cherry Hill. I don't even know if he died. I hope he didn't. I hope he okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So like Cherry Hill, Westport, Brooklyn, those areas, sometimes you don't even hear all the things that's happening. Now, I'm not gonna be one of the ones because that area is really being brought up. Shout out to one of my artist friends, Navasha Dea. She's one of those community organizers from Cherry Hill that are really working harder to work it through. But sometimes you don't like Park Heights. You know, Park Heights, sometimes you didn't hear about the man that was killed.
Yep.
I personally know my oldest niece's father was left for dead in a gutter for hours. And it was never reported.
Oh my God.
It was never reported. Now they figured out it was quote unquote friends of his that did it, but it still wasn't. It's not being reported.
It's not being reported.
So we're out of sight, out of mind. You're not talking about it. So it just keeps going on. It keeps happening at a rate that's just startling to me. Like it's just startling.
It's that's now, and this may be a funny saying, and it sounds kind of crazy. But my pastor used to say, people are dying that ain't never died before. And I get the meaning of it. He's about young people. Yeah. Not from diseases, not from, this shit is happening because of guns. This shit is happening because of drugs. These kids are being put through the ringer like they've never been put through before. And we are expecting them to come out on top when the odds are nothing but stacked against them. The odds are not in their favor at all.
Nope.
They come out the womb defeated.
And nobody's saying anything.
Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's helping. People calling on Brandon Scott. For what? What does Brandon Scott want to do? He can't be at every murder scene. He can't be at every crime. And when they get locked up, it's like, oh, my man's is down for 10 years. He needs to sit his ass down for 10 years. He out here causing havoc.
Yeah. But that's why when you said the young Moose, I'm not as familiar with him, but I know the name. I remember Free Young Moose, and there was another one before him, the one who had allegedly killed somebody but got off. Like, we hear them, we hear people saying it, and it's sad. It's a sad space that we find ourselves in when we're talking about these things, because
it's so crazy that they're going to jail for guns and drugs more than they're going to jail for murder. Well, and they're the ones who are doing the murders.
Yeah. I don't like the culture that we live in where we glorify it and we are comfortable with it. And
I think that we have now so much adopted the stop snitching culture so much that nothing anything. And literally anything can go down in your face and you just be like,
See, even the origin of that, I remember what's his name? The guy who did kind of get the credit for the stop stitching movement. What was his name?
I don't know.
The tall guy, light brown skin with the locks. I can't remember his name. But I remember seeing. I think I talked about that on this show where I had took my sister to a concert at Coppin, and some young ladies drove by and called him out his name, and he pulled out a gun. But I remember seeing that moment and seeing him in real life and not on those little bootleg videos. And because I was friends with Carmelo when we were younger, and I remember him almost losing his career over being in one of those videos. But what happened was all those drug dealers that had invested in his career got him out of there. And initially they didn't get him out of there. They let him be on camera.
Yeah, I'm reading about it now.
And it's us not caring how some of these young people will not live long enough to have a lifespan, to even say they had a lifespan. And they're doing nothing but mocking what they saw in a Jay-Z video or who. Yeah, I think it was, he got fat now. He a fat boy now. Yeah, that's him.
His name is Skinny Suge.
Skinny Suge.
I think even his son got killed.
See?
His son got killed.
But what can he say?
Oh, Cherry Hill at 17. If I'm not mistaken.
What tear can he shed? How can he justify crying over that when you perpetuated that lifestyle?
Right.
Remember, that was the person, I don't know, I think he just got the credit for the stop snitching because there was a bunch of people on those videos, remember? And it was...
I'm sorry. His son was 14.
See, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. It hurts my stomach. Because I remember that moment. I remember being in college, and I remember that whole movement to stop snitching. Like we're hanging on to movie lifestyles, music video lifestyles, and don't have anything. I think KD made a statement.
I'm just reading about his son.
I think KD said, sorry, I had to record Kylie. He came in first place for the 100 meter and got 2 more races.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations, Kylie.
He out there working it out.
But yeah, his son was 14 when he was killed out Cherry Hill. 14 years old.
And how can he justify crying? How can he justify being sad?
Asking people for help. I think he was on there asking people. And the fucked up part about it, they only
to tell who did it. I know it wasn't to tell who did it. I know it wasn't. It couldn't have possibly been for help to figure out who did it.
To find out who did it.
See? It couldn't possibly have been to help them find out who did it. It couldn't have possibly been.
I don't even know why they shot the little 14-year-old boy in the head.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Few years ago, more than a few years ago, because my cousin is grown now. Her father's family lived in Cherry Hill, and she was out. I think my cousin had taken her down there. My cousin Shaniqua had taken my cousin Tanya had taken my little cousin Shaniqua down there, and she was down there with family. Got shot. My cousin is paralyzed to death.
2 of his sons has been killed. Now that I'm reading more about it.
That's karma.
2 of his sons. One
karma.
died in 2004. This one done died in 2015. He got killed in 2015. His son was 22 years old. 22 years old. This one died at 22. And let me see, the other one died. So this one, and it was Nate. It was only a year apart. 1 year apart. The 14-year-old got shot in 2014, and then the 22-year-old got shot in 2015. That's crazy.
It is, right? Yeah.
Huh?
It's crazy.
Yeah. Ronnie Thomas III, 22, is the son of star of the DVD Stop Snitching. His son was 22 years old. This Thomas III is the second son of Thomas Jr. to be killed in 13 months. In April 2014, his 14-year-old son, Najee Thomas, was shot and killed inside of his home in Cherry Hill. That case remains open and no arrests have been made.
I can't no more. I can't.
And then here's the ironic part. The grandmother said that the 22-year-old son was worried that he would be labeled a snitch as a result of being shot previously a year ago. The 22-year-old spent much of the past year in jail, held on charges of attempted murder for allegedly shooting somebody else. Those charges was dropped, and he was released from jail at the beginning of April, and then he got killed in fucking August.
And that look at what that's done to
culture. Look at the culture or the karma coming back to bite you in the ass, and not trying to be like malicious about it, but you have to think about the culture that you created. Now you're calling on that very same culture to give up information about your children. Think about the countless of kids whose lives you could have prevented, not even prevented, but whose killers you could have brought to justice.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Now you're subsequently the father. Now you have two kids who were murdered. And now you're looking like, what the fuck? Within 13 months of each other. That has to be some painful shit.
Well, I mean,
painful. That boy would have been 23 years old this year.
What can you do? What can you do?
He was 14. That was almost 10 years ago. So he'd be 23. He'd be 24 next year.
What can we do? What can we?
14. Your other son was 22. Died. Just at not even one. I ain't even make it to be 20. The other one ain't even make it to 25.
It's just it really
it's a never-ending cycle of violence that is being just driven into our minds and just being, I don't even know, like, it's just sad.
Yeah.
And it's so heartbreaking to see. It's definitely so heartbreaking to see, because a lot of people don't understand that sometimes the things that you do might not have a direct effect on you, but it's going to have a direct effect on somebody else. Somebody close to you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's what we've grown numb to. We've grown accustomed to that nature, and that's that's what we're used to now.
Hold on. That went down the wrong way.
You gotta sip slow. You gotta sip slow.
I was thirsty.
Gotta sip slow. Can't just gulp it down.
Shut up, Nate.
Gotta sip it slow. Get a straw.
No. Oh my God. Well, I don't know. You want to do one more story?
We have the Ariana Grande story. That's a video clip.
My coffee. I'm on my way to work soon. I just wanted to come on, and I don't do this often. I don't like it. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it, and I don't like it, but I just wanted to address your concerns about my body and talk a little bit about what it means to be a person with a body and to be seen and to be paid such close attention to. I think we should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what. If you think you're saying something good or well-intentioned, whatever it is, healthy, unhealthy, big, small, this, that, sexy, not sexy. I don't, we just shouldn't, we should really work towards not doing that as much. There are ways to compliment someone or to ignore something that you see that you don't like, that I think we should help each other work towards, just to aim towards being safer and keeping each other safer. But I just also wanted to say, one, there are many different kinds of beautiful. There are many different ways to look healthy and beautiful. I know personally for me, the body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body. I was on a lot of antidepressants and drinking on them and eating poorly, and at the lowest points of my life when I looked the way you consider my healthy, but that in fact wasn't my healthy. And I know I shouldn't have to explain that, but I do feel like maybe having an openness and some sort of vulnerability here will be something good might come from it. I don't know, but that's the first thing. Healthy can look different. The second thing is you never know what someone is going through. So even if you are coming from a loving place and a caring place, that person probably is working on it or has a support system that they are working on it with, and you never know. So be gentle with each other and with yourselves. And thirdly, the third one's unrelated, I guess. I just wanted to extend some love your way and tell you that you're beautiful, no matter what phase you're in. By the way, I'm not wearing eyelashes or eyeliner right now. This is my face, these are my eyes, so don't freak out about that now too, please. Oh my God. But, yeah. Sending you guys a lot of love. And I think you're beautiful, no matter what you're going through, no matter what weight, no matter how you like to do your makeup these days, no matter what cosmetic procedures you've had or not, or anything. Yeah, I just think you're beautiful and wanted to share some feelings. Have a very beautiful day.
Oh, she was real genuine about it. I'm not understanding what the hell is people problem with people bodies nowadays. We have become so accustomed to the fake bodies and the fake ass and the fake boobs and the fake lips and the fake everything, that when somebody is really natural and coming out being themselves, y'all want to bash them for it. It's so mind-boggling. I looked at Beloved the other day, the lady who does the seafood boils.
Yeah. And how Tasha K is coming for her.
Yeah. People were talking about, she need to put the seafood boils down, and they talking about her hair, and they talking about her fingers are fat. And I'm like, but when she was having the lashes and the long hair and the long nails, y'all was talking about that. Y'all was saying how, she this, and I can't see how she eat with all that in her hand. I don't see how she do this. And it's like, now that she's into her micro locks, she's taking the lashes off, she's taking off the long nails, y'all are like, she fat, she this, she that. And it's like, it be the same ones behind the camera who picking up a damn chicken box and a cheesesteak at the same time and eating it, calling somebody else fat. I had somebody, and I posted this on my status, my story. I had a man who I was, I wouldn't say dating. We were just talking in conversation. And he has a habit of calling me fat. But this particular day, since I, decided that I didn't no longer wanted to talk to him or have any conversation with him, he told me I need to take my fat ass to the gym. And the crazy part about this, Nate, and I don't give a fuck if he watching, is his fat ass done had a gastric sleeve, a tummy tuck, and now he going back to get a bypass, and he's still fucking fat. You got a nerve. And
I'm gonna say this, and I don't like to get into the body con issues and stuff like that. I do feel Tasha K is a disgusting vile piece of trash for how she's talking about Beloved, because Beloved has gone on her platform and said, she did some surgery, and I don't recall what the surgery was for.
I think she got a mommy makeover.
Okay, and and somehow it has brought her into her it took her into early menopause, and because of it is she can't really control, probably before she probably could work out or tuck and nip or something, but it's just out of control right now. But on the flip side, we cannot pretend like we don't sit on social media, or we don't watch these TV shows that are cruelly, constantly digging at how people look. And it's crazy because we have men sitting up there now doing it to men. And this is something that used to happen strictly with women, but now we have men that are sitting on platforms and on social media talking about how other men look, or how other people in general look. But it is. I understand Ariana Grande, but on the same side, we put ourselves in these predicaments. When she was being used to ridicule Mariah Carey, and go after, she didn't open her mouth and say, "Hey, I love Mariah Carey. I don't want to beef with her." Now we've seen them reconcile because her, along with Jennifer Hudson, was on a Christmas album with Mariah Carey, so they may have privately squashed some things. But we didn't see you out here speaking about how when they were using you as if you were going to replace Mariah Carey. And I get it. A lot of these child stars who grow up to be stars, or who become stars out of the blue, face a lot of harsh criticism. And it's one of the reasons why I feel like, well, I'm not going to say feel like, it's one of the reasons I have not chosen to go harder as an actor, because I've gone to auditions in New York and had people rip me apart, tell me how talented I am and how great I am. And it's if I just lost a couple pounds and just change this about myself and get my eye fixed and get some LASIK surgery so I didn't have to wear glasses, or I've been ripped apart in auditions. And luckily I was already an adult, so I had a certain mindset about myself before all of this. But we create this. And I'm speaking about Black people at this point.
Yeah.
We create these spaces of putting ourselves in hierarchies, or comparing ourselves, or, thinking we're better. We do it every day. And then once it gets to be too much for us, then it's too much. So I'm not going to say I cry bullshit, Ariana Grande, but I cry bullshit. Because how many times did you take up for someone publicly? And I have to always go back to the Mariah Carey issue. And it wasn't her doing it, initiating, but you let them use you. You let them boost you up. You was out there singing this lady's songs on live. Just throwing it in her face like you go, or her voice is going, and I get it, but she's a prime example. When that shoe's on the other foot, or when that pendulum swings back, guess who will get it? You can't take it. Oh, you mad? Why you mad? Why you mad like that?
I'm sitting looking at B Love's videos, and I'm trying to get a good picture of her nails, and how as women, when we get longer nails, it makes our hands look smaller. When we get longer nails, it makes our fingers look quite small. Like I noticed I have fat fingers, but when I get a certain kind of nail, it makes my fingers look slim, And it's weird how the aesthetic be looking, but I'm looking at some of her videos where she had the longer nails, and I'm looking at the ones where she had the shorter nails, and you can tell that she has fat fingers. But and looking at her, she, like I said, she took off the lashes. She's not wearing the lashes and the things anymore. I'm trying to move this.
She's probably in menopause, so all that stuff is probably hot. She used to wear the wigs.
Yeah, she used to wear the wigs, lashes, and now she's now this is her. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now that she has this look, people are like, "Oh my gosh, she need to put the food down." You see how she look now?
But they were comfortable with her hiding behind all those wigs and They were comfortable with that when she was hiding herself. And now when you go and I've had family members and my mom went through a mini pause. They and I've heard them say it's like almost fire.
Just
It's
even
like
reading
somebody
some of
is
the comments,
they're on fire on the inside.
reading some of the comments is so
Ugly.
disgusting.
Yeah. Because people don't think they're gonna get old one day. They don't think they're gonna get old.
You have people who, this black guy, this is ridiculous. She need to stop. But he's sitting there. Look at his profile picture. I'm trying to see if I can get a good angle on his profile picture. He's sitting there being all fat his goddamn self. Of course, his page is private. But it's like, you know,
but that's what happens.
Talking shit about, and then of course all these people who talking shit got private pages.
Yeah. Well, they trolls. They trolls. I tell people I try not to read the comments, and I'm learning how to read them and just skip over the negativity. But they trolls. They trolls. They trolls.
Yeah,
and
they
that's
very much
just
trolls.
yeah. They trolls.
And then you got these. What kills me is y'all be sitting behind these cameras and behind these computers. I mean, behind these phones and behind these computers, looking fat and sloppy and all out of shape your goddamn self, and throwing your insecurities on the other people. That's not right.
It's not
right.
But that's what I mean. I remember being in middle school, and middle school was that age where we joked each other and we, all those different things. But it was a point where we had to get over it.
Even with me being a grown ass 37-year-old woman, I had a guy come in my inbox and was like, "Oh, you're gay," and I was like, "Dude, gay jokes? Like really? A gay?" Yeah. I was like, I've heard it all. I'm 37. I've had this gap my whole entire life. I've heard it all. It's nothing that you can say
that's what makes me feel bad about me.
And I wanted this to be a PSA. Like everybody with a gap don't even talk with a lisp. Everybody with a gap don't talk with a lisp. Everybody tongue ain't big. It's people that don't even have gaps that talk with a lisp.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, with the guy who called me fat, he's sitting here with a tummy tuck, a BBL, a gastric sleeve, and now about to get the gastric bypass. You doing all this shit to make you not be fat, and you still fat.
But that's what we do. But look, that's how often adult bullies grow up. They had some insecurity that is still deep down inside of them, and it just, and I think the reason because I didn't grow up the fat kid. I was the little short kid, but I didn't grow up getting.
I was never the fat kid. I got fat after I had my child and kept eating. And
so I think it hit differently.
A lot of black women to be overweight, getting Depo thinking, "Oh, okay, I don't got to get this shot for another 3 months." Has fucked up a lot of black women's bodies. Studies have shown a lot of African American women who it was predominantly given to. Bodies are now fucked up and are big and overweight due to this damn shot that was given to us.
Or they've lost a lot of hair, or
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you out here trying to be a bad bitch getting your ass your stomach tucked in.
Not a bad bitch.
He trying to be. That's what I call him. He know I call him a bad bitch. You the one want to be a bad bitch. I don't want to be a bad bitch.
But that's just how, and I'm not excusing any of it, but that's just how a lot of people have,
a lot of men have thought that that's the standard now. That is the standard of beauty, But then in the same breath, they'll turn around and say, "Well, I don't want a woman with fake hair. I don't want a woman with fake lashes." I had told my friend at work she's white passing. I call her white passing, but she's actually Persian. Where the fuck is that girl from? Her family's from Jordan. She's of some Arabic,
Middle
Eastern nationality, right?
Okay.
So, but she's white passing, which is what I call it, like how we say white passing for black people.
Mm-hmm. They have it in every culture.
Yeah. So if you wouldn't know her, you wouldn't know that she's Middle Eastern. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was talking to her about dating in the Black community, how Black men will tell you what they don't want from a Black woman. We don't want our women big, and we don't want our women with fake hair, and we don't want our women with this. But I said, if we were in a room, me and you, and Black men had to enter that room to pick one of us, I'm sure I would be the least picked. And she said, why? I said, because they automatically look at us and they see negativity. A lot of, and I'm not saying this is for all Black men, a lot of Black men will walk in the room and see a Black woman and another woman of a different nationality and walk past the Black woman and go to the very same thing that they say they don't want. And she's on the heavier side. She's big, but she's bigger. She's bigger than me. She's taller than me, and she's fluffier. So I said to her, I said, a lot of Black men will look at me if I was Black. If you were Black, they will look at you and be like,
that sounds like I can't remember her name, but that sounds like what's her name? Ayana? I'm trying to remember the girl. You just described somebody who, and it just sounds like a young lady who I used to do radio with.
Oh. But yeah, I said a lot of people, if we were in a room and Black men was to walk in and choose me or you, they would choose you automatically. Because they would look at me and say, oh, she overweight, she got fake lashes, she got fake hair, she got fake nails, she's just fake. And I said, they will look at you and be like, oh, she's beautiful, And I said, but if you were Black and me and you were in a room and they had to choose between me or you, they would choose me. Because they look at Black women who are your size and be like, oh, you overweight. You need to lose weight. You this, that, and the third. You got health problems. You obese. I said, but when it comes to women of your caliber in a different skin color, they love that shit. They love that shit.
Well, I never, when we go back and forth, people who are listening, we really do be joking, but like, I don't feel like she hates men. But what I jokingly say that because I have that issue with a lot of women that I know. I try to tell women it is not not to say it's not men's fault, but this is something that's been groomed in us, and often it stems with a reaction from your mom. So how do you see your mom? How do you see your mom or your sisters? And you sometimes, especially if you haven't had the best relationship with them, you often I'm gonna tell a story about light-skinned women. My mother's light-skinned, and she looks very similar to Tamika. Very similar to Tamika, and probably a little bit lighter. And she has the light hazel eyes. And I saw how people used to treat my mother. She has 2 other brothers that are light skinned with 4 other siblings with light hazel eyes. Her dad was mixed. And I saw how people treated my mother. I saw how they put my aunts and them up on pedestals, and the darker skinned children kind of got pushed to the side. And I subsequently grew up with a bias against light-skinned people. And I remember I used to have a friend at a lake. She had a little girl, and pretty little girl, very smart, beautiful heart. Her daughter was light-skinned. And I remember my friend Adeleke saying to me one time, because I used to say stuff like that. You be acting so light-skinned. I used to say stuff like that. And I remember she forced me to face what was going on with me and why I had that issue.
Wow.
And she was like, Nate, I can't have you around my child talking like that because my child is light-skinned. And I don't want my child to grow up feeling any kind of way. Now, mind you, the mother is a term called color struck. She had a preference for light-skinned men. And she pointed this out, and she was justifiably so pointing it out in front of me, but she was color struck. She had issues with light skin. Her preference was light skin. I'll say it that way. And being a dark skinned girl, she had an issue with light skinned girls. But when she said it to me, she was like, you can't be around my child. And I
Mm.
felt so ashamed. I was like, I can't be around your child. And I didn't see the behavior until I had to look back. And she would tell me stuff that I was saying. Now she had her own issues, but it was justifiably her pointing it out for me. Like, Nate, you can't be around my child talking like that. And
I have a thing where I didn't want a light-skinned child. And it wasn't anything personal, I guess. Maybe, yeah, I guess you could say it is. I wanted my child to be dark-skinned, and specifically, I wanted a dark-skinned daughter. I wanted a daughter, and I want her to be a chocolate, pretty little girl, and not even say pretty, a chocolate little baby. That's what I want. And because I know how to resonate with that. Like, you know, if you see my son, you'd be like, oh, your son light skinned. So that's what I call light skin. And it's like, he not Tamika.
It's weird. It's weird what people consider light skin too.
Tamika, huh?
It's weird what people consider light skin too.
You know, I grew up in the part where it wasn't all that I'm light brown skin, I'm medium brown, I'm mocha, I'm caramel. I grew up either you were dark or you were light. There were no in between.
You grew up in the South though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I grew up in the South. So I come from an era where you was either dark or you were light. It's no in between. It's none of that medium brown or dark brown or light brown. None of it. I grew up where either you were light skinned or you were dark skinned. No in between. So I consider my son, and I still see that nowadays. Unless if I'm trying to describe somebody to somebody else, I'll be like, God damn it, I can't say he dark because they're gonna be like, he not dark, you know. And so when I look at my son, I say he light skinned. My son light skinned.
But you started doing that since you've been up here because we classify each other because a lot of the color issues I did not go through. Now I became a part of it because I had this underlying issue towards but against light skinned people because I saw them start to be treated differently. So I started perpetuating that stereotype. But a lot of the issues that a lot of people have, I didn't go through in terms of being teased because of my complexion. But it's weird because I grew up being considered lighter skinned because I wasn't dark skinned. And that is a weird thing. And I would say because my mother is lighter than Tamika. So I would be like, I'm not light skinned. Like I knew what light skin was. Right. But people would consider you lighter when you wasn't dark.
When you wasn't dark.
Right. And you wouldn't even be considered dark skinned.
What? Yes, I
am. No, but I'm saying you wouldn't be.
Why not?
Because you wouldn't be. But you wouldn't be considered dark skinned though.
And I would be offended.
Now you would. But especially growing up, I think it's different.
As a kid, I was a black little chocolate thing.
Maryland is, but we again, complexions change and stuff. And the fact that you're not living in a deep South anymore, those same standards aren't the same. Even though we all still get treated the same by people outside of our culture.
Outside of that part, yeah. Even or get treated the same by people within our own culture. Like I feel like I was like looking at, gosh darn it, I'm trying to get the picture. Hold on, I don't know how to do this.
And it's just, I think it depends on where you're from and who you are and what your experience been. Because some people wouldn't consider you brown skin.
I'm trying to show
consider you brown skin.
I mean, you can see a little bit of my darkness. Yeah. This light is reflecting off.
I'm trying to think of somebody who would be considered dark skin. Like Morris Chestnut would be considered dark skin. Or I can't think of his name.
Morris Chestnut. Okay. Idris Elba.
Elba. That's considered dark skin. And I'm only saying that in terms of what would be considered dark skin. It's still, you know, it really just, because I know a lot of dark skinned people who just have complexion issues because of what they've had to go through. And it's just like, I have all my my mother's brothers and sisters from her mother and father are all lighter with hazel eyes. But then my grandmother had a couple sets of children, and she had all the boys in the middle are like my complexion. And then she had another set of children where all of them were like my complexion, but then it was one light skinned one. So she got it. They felt like she got treated better. My mother got treated better than they got treated. And then I had one uncle that's smack dab in the middle who is the darkest. And he always had this crazy. He's the type of dark skinned guy that would wear an all white sweatsuit just because. It just is him.
He would just do the
Right.
most.
He would do the most.
He would do
But
like
that was probably him finding that confidence in himself. He was always the best dressed and put together, but he was considered the black sheep of the family because he was darker than any of them.
But I get that though. Like it wasn't until maybe like in the last 3 or 4 years that I have really come into experimenting with colors. Because for a while I would not wear. You wouldn't catch me in nothing red or anything green or anything like of a bright color.
Wow, and that's crazy because me studying fashion.
I never grew up to think that was okay.
You didn't think it went with your complexion. Yeah.
And I look at other darker people and I be like, that blue look good on your skin. That dark, blue or that light blue or that orange. Me personally, I think orange look amazing on dark skin people. I think bright colors like orange and pink and those like neon greens look amazing on dark skin people. Yellow, one of the colors that a lot of dark skin people do not wear. Yellow look amazing on dark skin people's skin.
I went through a phase. I went through all those color phases, but it was never. I didn't think it would because I was always taught because I'm an artist. I learned about color, and you realize all colors pop off of our skin. It just looks
all colors
differently.
It just work well.
And my mother is light skinned, and she used to love yellow. Like she used to love yellow and gold, and people would tell her like, "You should not be wearing. You would too like to be wearing yellow." And I just watched her like give no fucks, and would go out with her yellow outfit on. But we have to. I don't think the younger children have a problem as much. I think like my generation is where like a lot of those colors stop.
Yeah, I think our generation is definitely where that color scheme thing is like, whoa, I gotta be mindful of my skin color and how I'm gonna look or how I'm gonna be judged. I do, like Tasha husband Deron is giving a party and the color theme is orange. And I can't remember what conversation I was having with somebody. And they were like, I don't want to wear no orange. I don't know. I don't look good in orange. I can't remember who said it. I can't remember exactly who said it. They were like, I don't look good in orange. And I'm sitting there thinking like, yeah, I don't look good in orange either. But I came across this TikTok and the theme was like orange. And the person was a darker skinned female. And she just pulled out all these outfits where she had orange on. And I'm like, damn, orange do look good on us. And I'm thinking like,
sometimes you're looking at the shade and it may come across a little cartoony. Yeah. And it's just finding the shade that like I love burnt orange or like copper type of oranges. And it's just finding the shade that you like that resonates with you. But we can really wear it. I've worn every color in the world. Like I've dyed my hair every color of the world. Like it's up to you. I have my cousin Tanya. She is such a pretty girl. And she's always been dark skinned, but she will wear the platinum of the platinum colored hair. She still wears her hair like that. She still wears like blonde hair. She used to do hair. And she would wear, I remember she used to do the hair shows. And she would come out in like these blonde hairstyles. And she is much darker than you. And I remember family members were like, girl, you know that hair is too light for you. And she would not care.
I hate when older people try to throw their insecurities onto you.
Right.
That pisses me off more than anything. Because
But
it's
it's the
very
world. But
hard.
understand, give the grace though, because it's the
Yeah,
world that they were
it's
raised
the world
in.
that they live in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It pissed me off a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm like, I get where they coming from because that's the world that they lived in. And I used to think that way
right.
until, like I said, about a few years ago when I was like, fuck that. I'm aware of this shit. I don't have it. And now that I was looking at it, I saw this dress on Amazon and it's so weird that the dress popped up. And you know how when you think about something and then it pop up on your Instagram?
Right.
Instagram was in my thoughts the other day and they popped up this orange dress. And I was like, damn. That's a pretty dress, and I kind of want to get it because I don't have anything orange. I don't have any bright.
Well, buy the dress. Yeah, we'll have something on.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, I think that color would look really good on me, and I want to try it. I'm gonna
We
get it.
just have to break ourselves out of those habits. I remember my father's family, who was from South Baltimore, did not like my mother because she was very much so light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
my
your father's
grandmother, my
dark-skinned?
father's mother, is light skinned.
Your
And I
father
was
was dark-skinned?
no, they were like my complexion.
Mm-hmm.
But it just I understood where it was coming from. It's just a weird space for people to
Mm-hmm.
still have that ideology, and
Mm-hmm.
we put those insecurities on our children. Like a young lady was talking on social media, and she was like, "Stop telling your children they're cute for a chocolate girl, they're cute
Yep.
for
Stop saying that.
a brown skin girl. Like, stop
You're not gonna
specifying."
give me a compliment and insult me in the same sentence.
Right,
Or
like
stop
it's
saying
like
that you're cute
limiting
for a
you.
fat girl. You
Right,
cute for a fat girl. You cute for a fat dark skinned girl. You
yeah,
cute for a big
yeah.
girl. You cute for a tall girl. Like what? Like
But
we
it's
stop
just
being,
ingrained in us. It's that behavior is so ingrained in us, and not to excuse it, but
mm-hmm.
that's where it's in us. And you know, down the south
And
is
we're
a different
passing it to our children.
scenario.
Different scenario.
You know, I met this Caribbean lady, and she was telling me she only moved to America because being dark skinned in the Caribbean is not acceptable.
Wow, that's
She said,
crazy.
and you would think it's not,
You would
but
think
that's skin bleaching. Look at them skin
that's skin
bleaching.
bleaching. Mm-hmm.
See, that's
Just like
just
I heard in Africa, that having a gap is a beauty standard.
yeah.
Like they think that you're the most prettiest woman in the world when you got a gap.
And yet, and
Mm-hmm.
still, modern Africa today, they're
Modern.
having issues with skin bleaching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the Caribbean and Afro continents, they're having issues with skin bleaching because
Mm-hmm.
people don't accept their skin. And we haven't had as much of an issue like to that extreme where people are bleaching their skin. But look at Michael Jackson.
Look at Michael Jackson.
Look at Michael
How he went
Jackson.
from being a dark brown man to being a damn near white man.
Yeah,
Damn
yeah.
near white. It's just crazy how
But
we
we have to figure out how to improve on the standards that we have developed in this country because it's not healthy anymore.
mm-hmm. It's
It's
not.
not.
Especially the way that we are passing it down to our children or either
Right.
teaching our children that is not to body shame themselves or to, how many times have you heard, oh, she's so fat. Look at that cute little fat girl. Look at her little chunky self. And you like,
Yeah.
you are already putting a standard on her that she don't want. What happens to just look at that cute little, oh, she's so cute. Like, oh, she's so cute with her chunky self. Like we think about the things that we say, even to children, that now we are adults and we be like, oh, that's a cute little fat bitch, or the BBW queen.
I think I've been blessed, and everybody goes through a teasing phase where they've been teased before. But I think I've just been blessed to not have had to go through those things the way some
Everybody
of my
been teased,
friends
whether
have.
you were short, whether you were tall and skinny,
Yeah.
whether you were fat, whether you were dark, whether you were light. We all have been teased in a sense about something.
Oh, you bet. I wish somebody would. I was the king of cracking, so I wish you would.
Oh my
I wish
God.
you would.
Oh my God.
I should send them home crying. I wish you would. Come on. Let's play that game. You want to play that cracking game?
I can't
Let's go. Let's get it.
But I've heard it all. I've heard the gap jokes. I've heard the fat jokes. I've heard it all. The short jokes. I've heard it all. And it's like, I'll be like, come up with something original now. Come up with something else. This ain't even going to work.
But often those types of things come from a very
a hurt place.
Right, it comes from an interesting place and people because they've had to deal with it. And I'm glad I was younger and caught that because I very much so played a victim in that. But I saw that it was really, they were going through some things with their self. And it had nothing to do with me, but it didn't stop me from cracking back though.
It ain't gonna never stop me from cracking back. Ever. Period.
I had jokes for days.
Never gonna stop me.
And I didn't play fair. I wanted you to cry.
I'm gonna talk about your mama. I'm gonna talk about your dad, granny, your brother, and your sister.
Oh, we're going deeper than that. I'm getting you where it hurt. I was good at discovering like what people insecurities were. And I would go after.
I can't with you.
But that was just a way that we learn how to protect ourselves. I heard somebody, I was watching Amanda Seales, and she was saying narcissism is a way that we as Black people learn how to protect ourselves. That's a way that we turned it into such a negative thing because we don't care what got a person somewhere or what we stop caring about those things. And it's crazy that and we go after each other so hard. The way I heard Tasha K talking about Be Love, I was saying, did she fuck her man or something?
You would think Tasha K had enough of talking shit.
She can. She has to go harder because Tasha K is a narcissist. That behavior, you can tell she hiding stuff. You can tell she hiding stuff. There's a lot of hurt in her. It's a lot of hurt.
She's just, I don't know. She's a mess. You would think her on Cardi B $4 million will have her ass sitting somewhere being quiet and shut up.
No, but see the narcissism in her, so I was listening to Amanda Seales, and she said there's a difference between being a narcissist. Like a narcissist cannot identify that they have a problem. Having traits of narcissism in you, we all have that. That's a way that we protect ourselves from other people. Like me cracking on people, that was narcissism because I would not let you affect me. But she's a narcissist. She does not see that she has a problem. For her, me owing her $4 million, that's just free publicity because now everybody gonna be talking about me owing this money, and that's gonna be making people. So it's different. But you probably get it because you've raised a son. But it's and I mean you were a child once, so you get it.
I get it a lot because I went through it a lot, especially with being dark and having a gap. It was kind of like, damn, girl.
But just the idea of you growing up in Mississippi, where that's
just the idea of me growing up in Mississippi.
That's the thing, and I know I have friends down there. Like light skin was what was happening. That's the home of the brown paper bag test.
That's the home of the brown paper bag test.
The
home. You ain't never lied.
Yeah.
But that's the show. Nate got things to do.
I do.
I'll see him later. I set my alarm for 6:15 so I can be there at 6:30.
You're such an adult. You know, spending real money will make you an adult real quick. It will. Paying that real rent, it's gonna make you an adult.
Okay. Real quick.
You're so responsible for stuff.
Yep. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget that you can always email us at PodcastIAmShe@gmail.com. If you would like to be a guest, if you would like to come on the show, if you have a topic you would like to discuss, don't forget that you can always DM us on Instagram or Facebook. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and on YouTube under the Artist Exchange.
Keep it
Thank y'all
cute.
for
Keep it
tuning in.
cute. Keep it
Keep it
cute.
cute. Don't be in
'Cause
the DMs talking crazy like some of y'all do.
Cause I'm gonna
Keep
start. I'm
it
gonna
cute.
start reposting some of those messages. Them dudes be
Okay?
sending.
Keep
Watch
it
me,
cute. Please keep it cute. Cause y'all
cause I
be
will
off the chain in
screenshot
them
you.
DMs. Y'all be off the chain in them DMs. I've seen
I'm,
it.
I'm the king of screenshot. Don't make me screenshot you now.
Oh gosh, yes. I'm about to start screenshotting these Negroes. But thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in next weekend, right back here at 11 a.m. on YouTube, on Facebook Live. Thank you guys for commenting, tuning in, and looking at us and being back. And thank you for watching throughout the week. Whenever you go back and watch the show, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, share, subscribe. If you want to become a sponsor, please, please, please DM us on how to become a sponsor.
And congratulations to KD's son.
Yay!
Prince calling it out.
All right. He better get the run. He better be in Florida now. He ain't got no choice but to run.
All right. See
All right.
y'all later.
See you later, Nate.